Nineveh was known as one of the greatest and most powerful cities of the ancient world. Its markets overflowed with goods, its soldiers filled the streets, and its palaces were decorated with wealth and pride. Yet behind that surface of prosperity, there was an emptiness that could not be ignored. Violence reigned, corruption spread through every level of society, and injustice crushed the weak while the arrogance grew stronger. Into this dark atmosphere, God sent Jonah, a reluctant prophet with a message that would shake the city to its core. As he walked through its wide streets, he proclaimed with a voice that cut through the noise, 40 days more, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. These words were not a metaphor or a poetic warning. They were a decree of judgment, a final call before destruction. Fear spread quickly, as if carried by the wind. Families exchanged worried glances. Merchants left their goods untouched. And even the most powerful officials could not ignore the prophet's cry. What if it was true? What if the end was only weeks away? The hearts of the people began to tremble under the weight of that question. The message was repeated again and again until the city felt surrounded, not by armies, but by the invisible hand of divine justice. No wall could defend them, no king could buy them safety, and no weapon could resist the will of God. The countdown had begun, and there was nowhere to hide. Nineveh, once proud and untouchable, suddenly felt small and fragile. The city stood at a crossroads, facing a decision that would determine not only its history, but its very survival. When the warning reached the palace, the king of Nineveh felt his heart break. He understood this was not a rumor or a tale to be dismissed. It was a sentence of death. In an act that shocked his people, he stepped down from his throne, removed his royal garments, dressed in sackcloth, and sat in ashes. The symbol of authority had given way to the symbol of humility. But the king went further. He issued a decree that no one in the city should eat or drink. Men and women, young and old, even the animals would join in this desperate act. The silence of empty kitchens mixed with the cries of hungry cattle, creating a sound that echoed like a collective prayer. The entire city, from palace to marketplace, entered into a fast. The streets that once pulsed with laughter and trade were now filled with people weeping and covering themselves in dust. Families gathered in groups, holding one another as they cried out to God for mercy. The aroma of food that once filled the air was gone, replaced with the heavy scent of ashes and the raw desperation of repentance. People no longer spoke of wealth, victories, or pride. The only topic that mattered was survival, not just of the body, but of the soul. The fast was not only about food. It was a fast of arrogance, a fast of violence, a fast of rebellion. They laid everything down. In that moment, Nineveh stopped being a city of pride and became a people of brokenness. Each empty stomach was an offering. Each tear became a plea. And together, their voices rose like one, crying out, "Lord, give us another chance." And as the days passed, something extraordinary began to happen. In the silence of the pots and the absence of feasts, the people began to change inside. Pride melted away into humility. Anger was washed away by tears of repentance. The city that once roared with noise now whispered with prayer. Nineveh was learning a truth deeper than food itself. When the body grows silent, the spirit speaks louder. And in that collective fast, the city spoke with one heart, one voice, and one plea that echoed through eternity. Lord, have mercy on us. Day after day, the people humbled themselves. It was not just their hunger that reached God, but the transformation of their actions. They put aside violence, abandoned dishonest practices, and humbled themselves before the Creator. Their fast was not an empty gesture. It was a living proof that their repentance was real. The scriptures say that God saw their works. He saw not only the fasting, but the turning away from evil. God is not moved only by words or outward appearances, but by genuine change of heart. And when Nineveh's transformation reached heaven, the sentence of destruction was overturned. The answer came not in thunder or fire, but in silence and grace. The destruction that had been promised never came. The city was spared. Life triumphed over death. Judgment was replaced with mercy. Nineveh discovered the eternal truth. When man humbled himself, God rises with compassion. This moment became one of the greatest testimonies in history. Nineveh was not saved by armies, gold, or alliances. It was saved by fasting, prayer, and faith. It was saved by a people who dared to lay down their pride and ask for forgiveness. And so, the city that was destined for ruin was reborn into hope. What was meant to be an ending became a new beginning. The story of Nineveh is not simply a record of the past. It is a reminder of the power of fasting, prayer, and humility. A king exchanged his crown for ashes. Children and adults shared the same hunger. Even the animals joined in the cry for mercy. The fast united the city in a way no law or army could ever achieve. In those days, the body grew weak, but the spirit grew strong. Hunger sharpened their faith, and tears replaced feasts. The miracle was not only that the city was spared, but that the people were transformed. The true victory was not survival, but renewal. Today, modern science helps us see another dimension of fasting. Research shows that fasting activates autophagy, reduces inflammation, sharpens mental clarity, and builds discipline. It heals the body, but as Nineveh discovered, it can also heal the soul. It is a bridge between human weakness and divine strength. The fast of Nineveh teaches that fasting is not only an individual practice, but can be a collective force for transformation. Imagine families, communities, or entire nations pausing their daily routines to humble themselves in fasting and prayer. History tells us that destinies can be rewritten when hearts unite and surrender. And so, the Fast of Nineveh stands through the centuries as proof that it is never too late to change. Sincere repentance opens the gates of mercy, and an empty stomach can give voice to a soul crying out for life. The question remains for us today. If an entire city were to fast again, would we witness miracles once more?